What's up? This is Ryan.
Hey, and it's Michael. Welcome to All Day Unpacked. We are back with another episode.
Week
Man,
one's in the
lots of
books.
stuff going on. Yes, it is. Week one is in the books. How you feeling after week one?
I feel pretty good. I mean, my Jags lost. That sucks.
It's a good game,
But
though.
it was a good game. But what I will say is I'm feeling pretty good about the all day project because I like the direction that we're going. For once, it feels like all day didn't fumble. And
Yes.
that's different because it feels like the last couple of years it's been like kind of like an Aaron Rodgers type of situation over here. So things look
With
better.
blown Achilles. Yeah. No,
What's
I
your thoughts?
agree. It's yeah, no, same. I mean, I feel like a lot of stuff is hitting. It's great that Rumble came back. So, we haven't done an episode since the Raham uh, whatever town hall where he announced
Sure.
that the Rumble came back.
Yep.
So that was big. It looks like All Day is going to have some sort of internal game. They weren't quite ready yet. It sounds like so they had
Okay.
they did do a challenge this week. So there was still a challenge this week. So there was like two things to participate in. There was a survivor pool. I'm already
Are you
knocked
still
out.
in
Thanks
that?
a lot, Bengals. No, I'm
Yeah.
out. The Bengals screwed me. I picked the
Hey,
Bengals. I mean,
I
it
just
seemed
want to
like the
say
safest
something.
pick.
For the
What's that?
first time in 2 years, I've done this 2 years now. I've gotten out week one 2 years in a row. I'm still in it. I'm still in it.
And not me. I got out week one. I've never got out week one in a survivor pool. This is the first for me. So that was a new experience. But
Oh, the Bungles.
anyway, so you got all that going on. You got leaderboards hitting. So we'll kind of get into it. Let's break it down. Kind of like talk about a few things. I
Yeah.
think like first thing we start with, like first of all, we got to start with like the big thing, which is the rookies, right? So we've had two pack drops. We had the kind of the one that was heavy on Caleb and Rome and Brock Bowers and Xavier Worthy
Yes.
and
Malik
one other
Neighbors.
guy. And then, and Malik Neighbors, thank you. And then this last week, we had the drop where it was heavy on the other five guys, and I won't try to name all five of those and screw it up. But point being is now we're looking at the marketplace. About 2/3 of the moments are out, and about
I
half
don't
of
know
the
about
moments are
2/3. I
actually
mean, yeah.
well, no, they're out. Only half are in
Okay.
people's hands.
Okay.
I'm saying 2/3 are like out.
Got it.
So they're about half of them are a big chunk of the ones that are out are still in packs. So
Got it.
if you were to go in the marketplace right now, there's only about 50%, maybe 45% of the moments that are actually in people's hands, and the prices are, I would say, a little bit lower than I think I expected, but
Okay.
but still, some are strong. Like now that we got the even distribution of some of the other guys, like the
Right.
Jaden Daniels and Marvin Harrison Juniors, they were a little bit higher before. They've come down now because there's a lot more of them. Caleb Williams is still the most expensive rookie. He's sitting right at around kind of the 110 to 115 range. It
Right.
seems like he kind of sits in there. If he gets any lower, seems to get snapped up. But right now, he's about the highest, and then I think the lowest is probably either Penix or Bowers, and they're sitting at about 15 each of the 1,500 moments. Now you got all the other guys
Correct.
that
Yeah. Yeah.
there's a bunch of. But it's kind of crazy because you're almost getting to a point where some of the guys who are 1,500 mint, Penix and Brower, are almost down to where like Brian Thomas Jr. is, where he's at like that. He's almost getting into double digits now, and
Right.
there's another 1,000 of him. So
Just so you know, Penix is at $16 right now. Bauer's at 18. So Penix is
he's
now
up at 18.
short up.
Okay, I've
Yep.
seen both of those guys go
Yeah,
for
it's
15
fluctuating.
recently. So
Sure.
yeah.
Yep.
What are your thoughts on like pricing and like you did a good job of calling Caleb and Drake May. Actually, I think Drake May is right in that range that you predicted too.
Yep.
So what are you feeling about pricing? How are you looking at it right now?
I mean, the way I see it right now is there's still a lot of these that got to hit the market. I mean, what it comes down to me is that how many people are going to lock these? I feel like there's a lot of people that are collecting these. So like if you go to, I want to say Caleb, it was, I'm just double checking. The amount of people that were holding Caleb, it seemed like there was a lot of large holders, but nobody had quite locked him yet. So what I think is going to happen is when these guys finally decide, hey, we're going to play the leaderboard here and we're going to start locking these up, that's when you're going to start to see the price rise up. But with so many kind of in reserve and sitting in packs, I wonder if that just brings it right back down to where it's at right now. So, like, but Michael Penix Jr., that could get crazy low. I really do think that one could get pretty, like, I mean,
well, he's not
like
playing, so it's hard. Yeah, it's hard to have a lot of value in a moment when the guy doesn't play.
Yeah, but again, at the same time, it's, if he's the quarterback of the future, I mean,
yeah, but
I think if he drops down to $8, which I mean, I don't
look. I'd buy him at $8, but what I think the problem is, it's like if you've got a limited budget, which most people have, right?
Sure, you
can only spend so much. So why are you going to spend money on a guy when you're trying to get on the leaderboard so that you get the airdrop of the rare or the legendary that this guy has? Like what you're seeing is people are collecting the rookies that are playing well. Because again, remember, the top 5 finishers of Rookie of the Year and the top defensive player all get a legendary moment. And so, you want to be in the top 50 for those 6 guys and get a free legendary.
But now aren't there team leaderboards too, right?
Well, yeah, but those are completely separate. I'm talking about just these rookies. So for these rookies, go ahead.
I was just going to say, wouldn't the average, I don't know what the average price of Penix is, but I would say with a higher average price, if you're locking a bunch of, if his price Penix is if it's $40 for an average, and again, if a bunch of them get snapped up, it'll drop down. But I wonder if there's a play where you buy him cheaper and you still get a higher average price, and so people would start snapping him up.
I mean, I don't think any of these guys, their average prices are pretty, they're a little bit trailing, but they're not too far behind. Like Penix is a good example. His average price right now is $24. So
it is. Okay.
I mean,
my bad.
Yeah. So you're not going to get the value. If you want to get value for the team leaderboards, you get that off the Series 1 guys. Like the Series 1 guys, those are, okay. I mean, you can get like multiples of like 6, 10, 15.
Yeah.
Depending on the player, you get way more bang for your buck in Series 1. So the leaderboards really reward, I think, some of the old heads, some of the OGs who collected Series 1. It does not, like anybody who's, using moments from 2023 or from this year, you're basically getting face values in 2023. A lot of times you're getting less.
Right.
It just depends on the player. So anyway, to get back to the rookies though, there's not a lot of incentive to lock up Penix when you don't, right now it's Cousins. But I'll tell you what, he's a Cousins injury away from doubling in price. I mean, if you think about that, right? Like Penix, if he gets in there, none of the rookie quarterbacks had great first weeks. I guess if you had to pick one, you'd say Jaden Daniels performed the best, but they got slaughtered. I mean, it's like some of his stuff. Yeah.
They all look like rookies.
They look like rookies. And so it's not, I don't think I wouldn't, again, as someone who's collecting these moments, you're someone who's collecting these moments. It's like, you're not panicking in week 1. You just want to see growth from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4. You want to see him looking a lot better by week 6, 7.
But let's be real here for a second. We were watching this in real time while we were watching the games. And you could see when the Bears were losing to the Titans and it was not looking good, you could see that Caleb Williams moment going, and it was people were reacting.
There were panicked sales.
There's going to be a lot of that going on. And again, if Penix gets in a game, let's say Kirk Cousins goes out for like 5-6 plays and Penix gets in, you're going to see a bunch of panic buys like, oh, here he comes, let's get him now. So again, that's the roller coaster, and that's kind of what makes it fun, because people panic and they make crazy decisions, and they're trying to beat the trend. So you're seeing a lot of that happen. Again, Brian Thomas Jr. catches a touchdown. All of a sudden, everybody's like, "Oh, wait, I want a piece of that." And that happened early.
You're right.
That happened early, and it was over Jalen Ramsey. It was like a highlight, and he was talking smack to Jalen Ramsey, and then everybody's like, "Oh, well, maybe that's something." Again, like he wasn't worth that much. He was going for $6 or $7, kind of dabbling.
Now
at
he's
$8,
up like 9, 10. Yeah.
And he was kind of hitting
I was happily buying him at $6. I still say he should have been.
Yes.
I know they had to do 5 quarterbacks, 5 wide receivers. I still think they should have pulled Penix and made him one of the top 10. But nonetheless, I was happy to be buying him at $6. I wish I would have bought more because I didn't think he'd go off like he went off week 1. There are some other. I think what's cool is like what you said though. It's like you've got the big dogs, but there are some guys out there
Yes.
that are really valued at like $1, $2, $3, $4 who are getting significant playing time. Like this is, it's to me, this is like one of those great things where you can look at stats, look at depth charts, look at who's getting looks, look at how the team's doing, look for guys on teams that are going to give guys an opportunity to play. I feel like there's some gems. There's going to be somebody outside of those Big Ten is going to finish in the top 5 of offensive voting, and you can go out and pick up that player for $10 or less right now. And so, like those are the guys where you can kind of sneaky stack somebody up and have a nice bet on a player doing well later. Because again, it's even if you don't just go for the legendary, there's going to be a rare series that drops too, right? We've seen that there's going to be that. And so in that rare series, they're probably going to do the same thing where they drop to the leaders of these players. And that rare series is going to be a lot more players. Like it's, that's probably going to be like 15 or 20 rookies. So what is it called? Regal Rookies or something or other?
Regal
I can't remember.
Rookies.
It was.
I'm not really fond of the name, but yeah, I mean, that's what it is. And I mean, when have we heard anything about when we expect actually some of these videos start actually making their way into the moments? There was a lot of plays. I mean, like Brian Thomas Jr. catch over Jalen Ramsey. I would think that would probably be an easy call.
I think that will be, I think some players earned that moment in week 1, and I think some didn't. I think Brian Thomas Jr. is somebody who earned that in week 1, so I think we'll see him fill in with that. I don't, again, I think we'll start to see them appear. It'll probably just depend on the, kind of the team and the amount of time they have. But I would be very surprised if they didn't use that, unless he does something even crazier in week 2. I would think that week 1 moment's going to make it for him.
Have you heard anything as far as when those are going to start to actually populate? No.
Okay. I mean, there is so much going on right now, though. I don't really I think
how are they going to keep
people
up?
Want to see those moments get populated, but I think that, I think people are still waiting to see if there's going to be like this kind of, we heard in the AMA/town hall, we heard about this new playbook that's coming. And so people are very excited about that. So I would anticipate the moments probably don't get filled in until after that, but maybe I don't know what the team's working on and where they're at. So, I think it's that playbook that they're revamping is really what the focus is on right now until they get that out and running.
So were you more about the playbook that happened? Cause they did do like a playbook for week 1, which was kind of like, I gotta admit, I completely missed it, this week. Sorry. But what was your opinion? Like as far as leaderboards, team leaderboards, individual player, or the week 1 playbook, which one kind of piqued your interest more? Rank them from 1 to 3.
I mean, it's all interesting to me, honestly. I liked I'll say this about the week. I did see this tidbit that flew by in Discord, which was that in the week 1 playbook, there was like 3 levels. There was like a hard, a medium, and an easy level.
Okay.
0 people got hard right. 0 people got medium right. 25 people got the easy part right. So
wow.
I think they won 25 people. I think they got like a quick rip pack. I think that was the reward.
Okay.
And then I think the rewards at the next level were like 100 and then 500. And I don't know if I think it's like a split pot type situation like it was last year. Honestly, I didn't look into it, but no one won it anyway. So
was it one of those things where you had to predict somebody had so many yards, somebody had so many sacks, that type of thing? Okay.
And what we saw in the NFL in week 1 was a ton of passers that didn't have, I mean, I think there was only like 2 or 3 guys who went over 300 yards. So
really,
it was a crazy week in the NFL as far as like passing yards. It seemed like, again, it's early in the season. Defense is outplaying offense. That's how it always goes. Offenses takes them a little bit longer to catch up because they don't play in the preseason. They're not well oiled. So it's, it was a little bit tougher sledding. I think Tua was one of the guys that went over 300.
Okay.
Did Baker Mayfield go over 300 or not? I can't remember if Mayfield did or didn't, but he was close.
Okay.
And then I think maybe someone last night in the Lions, I think Stafford might have, but it was very, very few players. And so it's like, it was hard to hit those things because, again, it's when only 1 or 2 guys go over 300, it's like, you got to, get it just right.
Just want to say quickly, David Montgomery was impressive last night in overtime. That was unbelievable. So I just, gosh, that dude is unreal. That was a show.
Yeah, he was a. I remember he started off on the Bears obviously,
Yep.
and always was a hard runner, was reliable. Yeah, he was just one of those guys where it's like you hated to see him go to another team, especially in your own division. But he is. It's funny because even in Detroit, it's like I saw the a lot of the fantasy people. I know you're not, but all the fantasy
Correct.
people were upset because they all have Jameer Gibbs, and everybody thinks this year is going to be Jameer Gibbs' year. And David Montgomery was like, hold up, everybody. I got a little something to say about this because, man, he was, like you said, he was impressive. He is much more of a power runner. Jameer Gibbs, I think, does better in that dual. Like again, there's so many of these running backs. They're dual, these dual back situations. It's like
Sure.
I know it hurts for fantasy, but it's like if I'm a Lions fan, man, I love seeing that 1-2 punch where I see a guy who
Right.
can pound it, and then a guy who can come in and just change up the speed of everything like that.
Yep. Absolutely. I mean,
Yeah,
fantasy's great and all, but I mean, again, if I'm a Lions fan, I want them winning games. So that's much
yeah,
more favorable. So did you see
totally.
Jordan Love down to $7 for a debut? Like starting to kind of people starting to kind of go, oh, I don't know about Jordan Love now. He's again like when these injuries happen, the deals start pouring in.
Yeah,
So
he's only out 4 to 6 weeks.
yeah,
Although I
but
will
in
say,
all
like
day
he
terms,
doesn't.
that's forever.
That is, yeah. But I will say, like he is a lot. There's a lot of people who are like saying that he might regress this year. Again, he played so well in the second half of last year. I think expectations were sky high for him,
Sure.
and the Packers just like he did well, but they didn't. I think they didn't beat the Eagles, and everybody thought the Eagles were kind of cooked. Everybody thought Sirianni and Jalen Hurts couldn't get along, and
Right.
looks like that
Very
may
good.
have just been some fake news there because they looked great, like they looked unstoppable. They
Yeah.
just looked
Well, they didn't look
really
so good at the
good.
beginning, but they came together.
No, like, and what you were hearing was Jalen Hurts looks like the weakest link on the team, which is crazy. I mean,
Yeah.
he looks like the weakest. Like he looked like the part of the team that couldn't get it going because he fumbled the snap, threw the pick.
Sure.
You look at the talent around him. He's got guys everywhere that can play ball.
Yeah. I mean, week one's always so interesting because you really think you have a handle on what's going on. And then about week four, it all
Yeah,
comes crashing down.
if there's anything that I had forgotten that I was reminded of in that Packers Eagles game was how good Saquon Barkley is because
Yeah.
it's like you forget he was on a Giants team and just kind of got lost because he was always on such a mediocre team. I know they made the playoffs that one year and a lot of it was due to him, but seeing him run behind an Eagles offensive line and just watching that, like watching some of his just kind of his like juke steps and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh man, it was actually really nice to see him running behind like a decent O line on a better offense. It was like night and day. He
Yeah.
looked so good. And you saw it. Obviously, he had a ton of
Yeah.
touches and touchdowns and yards. And yeah, Saquon Barkley looked so much like I don't know, just like rejuvenated. So
Yeah. Well, Daniel Jones on the Giants does not look rejuvenated, and he looks like he's going to be lasting a couple more weeks at best. I think we might wonder about Mr. DeVito coming back in.
yeah, I was thinking about that, and then I was thinking about something else too, which is I think we talked about this a little bit earlier, which is Ryan Tannehill is still sitting out there,
That's true.
and the Giants have talent, right? They got this receiver that they drafted number one. They've got a defensive line that is like, that D line against the Vikings was getting there. It's just when you've got such a terrible, the offense is bad, putting the defense on the field and putting them in bad spots. I
Sure.
think the score was wide, but I think a lot of that had to do with, sometimes things kind of compound and get worse and worse. And what I would say is like, I feel like, man, if I'm the Giants, maybe I'm calling up Ryan Tannehill and just bringing him in right now,
Yeah.
just as like, my backup. Like maybe, although I know they have Tommy DeVito, but I'm being like, trying to be more like thoughtful of like I don't want to see, like if I'm the Giants, I don't want to waste a season. And I feel like Daniel Jones just looks like it just doesn't look right.
Yeah.
And him, and then the other guy who doesn't look right now is Deshaun Watson. Man, Deshaun Watson looks bad.
He
And I know
did.
it's only week one. We're over. These are all the overreactions,
He's
right?
one of those that I think could probably turn it around. But again,
I
I've said this back in the day that Deshaun Watson will end up being the Herschel Walker trade.
Yeah.
And
Well, I
like,
don't know if you saw, but he just got hit with another sexual assault case too, from that 2020, from the 20. Now, not new. It's from the 2020 time, but
okay,
it's a new case. But
Jesus,
the thing I'll say is, it's like when I was watching him throw the ball to receivers in the
right?
Cowboys Browns game, he wasn't just like missing guys. Like he was like missing guys by like 15 feet. I mean, it wasn't even like he was putting balls out of bounds. Like it was bad. Like he threw a deep ball and I think he put it almost into the stands, and he wasn't trying to throw it away. He just overthrew the guy. Like he just doesn't look right. Like
Got it.
something
Have
is
you seen
off
the
there.
clip of the offensive line not helping him up, or the offensive lineman he tried to help up and then didn't want to get up, like didn't want to take his hand? There's some
No,
clip
I
on the
didn't.
internet if
But
you search it. Yeah, he's like the offensive lineman's on the ground. He's trying to get up, and Deshaun Watson puts his hand down to try and help him up, and he just rolls over and gets up himself and just
oh wow,
doesn't want to. And they're like, you,
I
you see
don't
this shit on the
understand
internet.
why why didn't the Browns just sign Joe Flacco back? Like
I
even
don't
for
know.
just a backup role. I mean, he would have taken the backup role.
Yeah,
Man, I'll tell you what. I know why. It's because they spent so many. I mean, what a curse! What a curse in Cleveland to like see you spend that much money
it's
on
not
this like
done
sure
yet, but
shot
yeah,
quarterback.
yeah,
It's done. It's done.
it's not done yet.
I'm sorry. Look. You know what? I don't care. You know, when I'm wrong on this one, you guys can come back and say, "Hey, I said this and blah 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 episode," but I'm saying it right now. Deshaun Watson is done. He'll have a game or two. I'm not saying he'll never have a game where he
Yeah,
shows up, but I'm just saying he is not worth the money that was spent on him, and he will never be
the
worth that
draft
money.
capital.
He
Yeah,
will. Yeah,
yeah.
it's just he. The Browns literally could have just stayed where they were at, and like they literally handed the Texans everything they needed to become again. And I know you thought C.J. Stroud was going to take a step back, but I
Eh,
didn't see it.
yeah. I mean, again, they played the Colts. The Colts were kind of.
The Colts are a good team. You don't think the
Well,
Colts? Oh, I'm telling you right now, you
I'm
guys have
not
a
saying
tough
the.
division this year.
I'm saying the Colts are not a bad team, but I don't know how good they are yet. I like again
I yeah.
home opener against the Colts. Like we'll see. Who do the Texans got next week? Oh, the Bears
Bears
don't.
Sunday night. Yeah,
Okay,
Bears are going to get
Where,
killed.
where's it going to be at?
Now the Bears have a legit defense, but here's what's going to happen. Caleb Williams is still learning. I fully expect he will, probably have some better plays next week, but also make some mistakes. The Bears' defense is good, really good.
Yeah,
Really, really good. But they're going to be on the field too much, and they just can't. Like C.J. Stroud is really good. They got Joe Mixon running right now, and he's doing well. It's going to be a tough game for the Bears. Like I would be very surprised if the Bears, keep it even within a touchdown. Like I just don't see it. Like I just see it as like a 7 point or more win for the Texans for sure.
okay. Well, Noster Ryan's going to jump on here and say that the Bears are going to lose, but CJ Stroud goes down with an injury. And you're going to see CJ Stroud's moment drop. That's what I'm calling.
We'll see. The Bears don't really have a history of knocking guys out. They tend to again.
Maybe he
But
knocks
I
himself
will
out.
say this. Yeah, maybe. But man, the one thing I'll say the Bears did, which was genius, was right before the cut down date, they traded Seattle like a 4th round pick for this Darrell Taylor guy, and like he wasn't even a starter in the Seahawks defense. He
Sure.
was just, I don't know if it was in the right scheme. He was one of those guys where it's like he can pass rush, but he can't really run. He really doesn't stop the run well, which honestly for the Bears is fine because every other player on that D can stop the run. So it's like
Okay.
we could use just like a speed rusher. And this guy came in, he had 2 sacks, 1 forced fumble. That was, huge, a huge play for that game.
Yeah.
And he had like 7 tackles. I mean,
Not bad.
I know he's not going to do that every week, but man, what a
Hey,
deal to
getting
get that
getting
for
the
a 4th
win
round
in
pick.
week 1. And how about let's get a moment for Will Levis with that interception with a big bow. Just like him going like this. Like, oh
Yeah.
man.
I feel like that could be a moment for Tyreek Stevenson just because that was His first pick
Yeah.
six ever
Yeah.
at any level. He
That's a
was
good
saying
point.
he's never had a pick six in college, pro, high school, little league, or whatever, Pop Warner, nothing. He's
Sure.
never had a pick six. So
Yeah.
I feel like that's a Tyreek. I mean,
Oh my.
it really wasn't that big of a great of a play. He just kind of caught this like late. I mean, I still can't believe he threw that. I mean,
Yeah.
he did it once before in the game and got away with it.
Yeah.
And I think he was thinking he would do that again, and not that time, buddy.
I mean, if somebody ever said that there was a script for football, that would be the play that I'd point to, because why would you do that? I don't even know who he was
I mean,
throwing to. Like, what did he like? Was he trying to get it out of
I don't know if he
bounds?
thought he was throwing it away or if he thought his guy was coming back. But listen, here's the thing. That was probably one of, like, you know what that reminded me of? That reminded me of the Rex Grossman Chicago Bears days, like where Sexy Rexy would go out there and just fuck around and do nothing on offense, and the defense and special teams would win 90% of the games. It was like, that's what I felt like I was watching. Now, I am not saying Caleb Williams is Sexy Rexy. Like, that was his ceiling, right? This was game one for Caleb.
Yeah.
I feel like even if Caleb doesn't pan out, that's probably not the best game he'll ever play, right? Like,
Correct.
he's going to get better. Now, we'll
Yeah.
find out how much better and see if he's actually, the real deal or not. But it does show you that the Bears will be a much more competitive team this year, because last year before that, it's a game they lose. So
Yeah.
to see them win that game, they had no business winning that game, but they still won it. Those are the kind of games that you win. Those are the difference makers. Those are those 2 or 3 games you win in a season that are the difference between being a 10-win team and a 7-win team. So
Yeah. And I think if I'm a Titans
that's how you do
fan,
it.
I'm throwing in the towel on this season already. It's a wrap. It's not looking good.
They're not. I'm telling you right now that their defense is legit. That big boy, oh man, Sweat. What's
Yeah.
his name? Tavondre, I think is his name. He's like 400 pounds and he can move. Holy cow! That is a big man. Like, it's like a mountain of a man coming right up the middle. The Titans defense is good. They just got to get the difference between the Bears and the Titans on Sunday was they both had really good defense, and Caleb Williams didn't make dumb mistakes. Will Levis did.
Yeah. And their
So
punter made a
that's
dumb
what it
mistake
boiled
too.
down
Yeah.
to.
Well, not their punter, but
What's
their
that?
punt team. They blocked a punt too. That was, I mean,
Yeah, well, Velus Jones fielded a kickoff, remember, and dropped it and then kicked it forward. Velus Jones fields a kickoff. It goes right through the breadbasket. And then on top of that, he kicks it forward so he can't fall on it. And the Titans recovered it at the 20-yard line. I mean,
yeah,
it
there's
is
some
the
boners in
worst.
that game.
Like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, it's week one. So
Yeah. They need a Follies moment thing.
they really, yeah, a blooper series. I feel like, I mean, I think that would be novel or whatever, but then I don't know. I don't know what
Yeah.
the
Come on. I mean, yeah, those are the free moments that should be given away at the games. But
all right. So
anyway, let's move on.
yeah, butt bumble. All right.
Yep.
So we kind of talked about the rookie prices and where those are at. There's the rookie boards that are active now. So real quick, just it's based on average sale price. It is, you lock your moments, and you achieve on that player. So for instance, like right now, pick a player, right? Pick like Brian Thomas Jr. and you can go out and you can see who the leader of that, who that guy is.
Who is that
see
guy?
like kind of, I don't know who is.
I don't know. I don't know. Anyway,
Oh,
moving on.
is it? Oh, is it? I don't know. Is it me?
It could be.
I don't know. I mean, I told you I've been going in on. I went on him when he was cheap, and I like him, so it might be me. No, it's not.
Yeah.
It is T Diddy Penguin with $212 worth of Brian Thomas. So
Really?
but you can go out there and you can see he's locked what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 25 Brian Thomases locked up.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess I could have read the number at the top. That's really handy. Anyway, so he's locked up 25, so you can see that he is like the leaderboard, the guy on top of the leaderboard for that.
I mean, what do you think it's going to take to win? I mean, like how many do you think you're going to have?
To win? I mean, well, the thing is, it's never going to be like one of those things that you can just outright win, because it's not just the rare moments, right? eventually Brian Thomas is going to get a rare. I'm sorry, I said rare. I meant it's not just the common moments. Eventually he's going to
Right.
get a rare.
Get a rare.
And then that rare is going to factor in. So it's not just one moment, it's any of his moments that factor in. Any of his rookie moments.
Got it.
So
okay.
It's like the landscape will change as like new moments come out with that player. So it will be interesting. Like that Regal Rookies set will really change the landscape and like kind of open it up and allow people to make up more ground, I think, when those moments come out. So we'll see. I think it depends on the player, right? I think some players are going to be way more competitive. I think some, it's going to depend on the fan base that's active on all day, and it's going to depend on the player popularity, right? Like you get a guy, any of the top 10 guys, they're going to be more competitive. Caleb Williams is probably one of the more competitive ones. So is Jaden Daniels. Those kind of guys, Neighbors, Harrison Jr., those guys will be very competitive. But someone like, oh gosh, I'm trying to think who's another what's Luke McCaffrey, right? Luke McCaffrey will probably be a pretty easy leaderboard to, stay up on because he hasn't done a whole lot. So, but the thing is you're not guaranteed any prizes out of it. So you're rewarded for picking a player that does well. And so the competition will go to where the action is.
Got it. Okay. Got it. Let's talk about the pack drops. I mean, we talked about those kind of our last episode. We kind of covered going into the pack drop. It hadn't happened. So now we've gone through it. I mean, what was your take on like how it went down? Just the whole, like, like they did the two separate drops. Like, what was your opinion on like pricing, what you got for it now that you were kind of seeing like everything come out in the wash? I mean, what was I'm guessing your opinion probably hasn't changed too much, but I'm just curious to see what your take.
A little bit in the sense of the quick rip packs were overpowered. Like those were where you should be putting your money. And that's where people did put their money. Those things were selling out. I mean, those things were way oversubscribed, and people people were putting in for 100 and getting like 15, or this last one, people were putting in for 200 and getting 10. I mean, there was so many requests for those, and those packs were then being flipped in the $20 to $30 price range. So, and people bought them, right? Like we saw, for instance, in the quick rip packs in the first series, there was a Caleb Williams Ultimate, and there was a user, Scrub AD, who kept buying packs on the set. He was paying between 20 and 25, maybe it was even 26, 27 bucks a pack, just chasing a Caleb Ultimate that he did finally pull after he bought, I don't even know how many of those packs, but it seemed like, many packs to get to it, but did finally pull it. And so those seem to have a lot of value. Whereas the premium packs, they had some value. It was nice that you were guaranteed a guy, but it didn't have the same value that the quick rip packs did. And so it was,
I mean, I feel like the quick rip packs, as of like right now, like, you paid $9. I mean, even though the moments have dropped, I still feel great about buying $9 packs. It doesn't feel like,
because you got 5 moments. And so there's only like 3 or 4 rookies that are going for $1. So chances are really strong that you got at least an even value out of that pack, if not made money. Like, if you, again, like I know we did a thing where I opened up, I think I got like 13 packs, and I did horrible. I was, normally you're supposed to get 1 out of every 4 packs should have one of like the big guys in it. And I opened up 13 packs and didn't get a single, one of the star rookies until I opened up the 13th pack, got a Caleb Williams, and that made up for all the other bad packs. Right.
Yep.
So again, there was like way more value to be had in those packs versus, when you're opening, again, if you would have opened up the premium pack, you're getting a rare that's worth, some of these rares, the fresh thread rares right now are going for like $7 or $8.
$5, $6. I mean, Gabe Davis was going for $5.
Yeah. So they're literally going for nothing. And then you could have got like a Brock Bowers or a Michael Penix Jr., which is going for $20. So that's $25. And then you got 8 other guys who are going somewhere in the $1 to, let's say, $6 range.
Yeah.
I mean, that's nowhere near what you paid for those packs. So in the second drop, those packs didn't even sell out right away. They didn't sell out.
Right.
And then they
Have they
made them
sold out yet?
available in the second. I think they did. I think I saw this afternoon they were down to like 3 left.
Okay.
And I think they did finally sell out. So if not, they got real close.
Okay.
And it was just people in the aftermarket probably chasing some of the, the ultimates that were locked away in there and such. So, but yeah, nonetheless, it was not those packs. I don't know. I'd be surprised if they did those again. I mean, they've got another pack drop, I think, happening this Thursday. It was on a calendar. I saw it, and so it may already be destined. But I think they're just quick grip packs this Thursday and the next Thursday. I don't know what's going to be in them. I don't
Yeah.
know if there'll be new moments like from week one or not.
Right.
But yeah, so there'll be some new packs dropping this Thursday. But it sounds like probably just quick grip packs again.
Got it. Again, I mean, we've talked about this many a times. I mean, packs of equal value. If you just create all the packs across the board, I'm sure there's a math formula to kind of iron that out. But I just feel like had they taken those two and kind of meshed them together and just said, this is the pack. If you want it, here it is. This is the price. And just gone that route, I feel like things would go much smoother for them. I feel like when they create this divide, I don't know.
We did the math on that.
Right, and I think it came out to like $27 a pack or
$27 per pack.
That's if they wanted to make. Go ahead.
If you wanted to make the exact same amount of money that they made on these drops, it was $27, and you only had like I think it was less than that. It was like a 40-something% chance of pulling one of the star rookie moments. And so,
sure,
I just don't know if people would have been as. I just don't think they would have sold. I just don't think you would have sold quick rip packs for $27. It's got to be $10 or under to like get people to just like, because like I'm telling you right now, they can sell these $10 packs again and again and again and again and again. Like I just, they don't like people like I'm the same way. Like if I could if I'm ripping a $9 pack and getting 5 rookies, I don't know when I would wait. I don't know when I would stop myself from buying those packs because it's like, how do you go wrong?
You
right?
don't go
like
wrong with that. I feel like again, you're kind of running into the situation like where people are those packs aren't selling out the $99 ones, and they did eventually sell out, and that's fine. But had it been the same situation and they had $26 packs and they're just sitting there. And fine, you don't want to buy them; they'll just sit there, and then the season carries on. And then I think people would have, I think people would have been like, But I mean, if they're buying $9 packs in the aftermarket for $27, I think that those would have gone heavily and quickly for $27. Now, again, like, did they need exactly $27? I don't know. They could have probably done it for 25, but I feel like with the chances of getting these ultimates and this, that, and the other, if it's all like just boom and one, send it out there, and it's you can put in for 100 packs and, if you want to, if you get them, I don't know. I just, again, I feel as though like when they just do it, just even across the board, it just makes it more simplistic. And then certain packs then every pack will sell out. You don't have to worry about this not selling out thing. And again, if they don't sell out, then it's packs on demand. And then if we're like
packs on demand are a little bit different in that packs on demand are more like mint to, so meaning like the mint count of every moment is 0, right? And you buy a pack and then there's like a mathematical calculation and it says, like, okay, you just pulled a pack that has 4 commons and 1 rare. And it, randomly selects it and it's like, here's your 4 commons and here's your rare.
Sure.
Those mint counts just went up to 1. And so it's like like there's a percentage of each moment that you can pull, but there's no limit. Meaning, if people go crazy for, Brian Thomas Jr. and keep, minting, or keep buying packs, it'll keep minting his moment. And maybe his debut goes from 2,500 to 7,500 because people just wanted it, right?
Got it. So, then I'm not saying packs on demand. I guess I'm saying that maybe I incorrectly spoke, but what I'm saying is that if the packs weren't to sell out, there would be this leftover amount that would just sit there. And then again, we're doing an episode right now and we're like, hey, let's buy a pack and let's rip it because they haven't sold out. It's $25. Let's do it. again, they'd be more readily like available if they didn't sell it, and that wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing because everybody
Yeah,
would
I
still have the
agree.
same chance. And again, I'm still just not a fan of like these $99 ones because again, when you were ripping them, I'm like, these are kind of a fucking ripoff. It's not that they weren't, it wasn't like old school ripoff, but it was, again, it just didn't feel as though and I like the $9 packs. I like that concept, and
Yeah.
I enjoy having that. But it's just I look at the $9 pack and I look at the $99 pack, and I don't know
Well,
how
yeah.
sustainable the $99 pack is over the
It's
next
not about
couple seasons.
sustainability. It's about if we didn't have those, we wouldn't have $9 packs. So if people aren't there buying the $99 packs
Yes,
to carry the loss of the $9 pack, we
correct.
don't have $9 packs. So
And how long are
it's
people going to be sustaining that? That's
the
more my
27.
point.
Well, I mean, as long as people, I mean, I'll tell you why. The people that bought the $99 packs are chasing the ultimates. That's why. So
And maybe it's just that I just don't know how long. Like again, like these $99 packs, when you do the math on it, I got to think that where the prices are at right now, was it worth it to buy the $99 packs?
it
I don't
was,
think so.
if you looked at the EV, I looked at the EV and it was like, when the ultimates are in there, the EV for them is like, in like the 97 to 105 range. So
Okay, but
it's
that's
about a
with the
break
ultimate.
even.
Okay, and
Well,
I
no,
get
but
the ultimate.
but that being said, the ultimates are right now are valued at $0.
Okay,
So
okay,
because no one has sold or bought one of the new ultimates yet. So I don't think
okay,
Own the Moment was smart enough to say, oh, this will be worth this amount potentially.
okay.
But I do think that the value has gone down since then and is like lower now.
Sure.
Um,
Yeah.
but
Again,
I
I
don't know.
just yeah, just to put an end to it, I just want to say that I'm just not a fan of multi packs. It's just it seems more simplistic to have one pack and just price it as is and just roll with it. That's my thought.
Yeah, I hear you.
Simplicity.
I don't know. I hear you, but again, I don't. I would be really curious to see. They should try it honestly, but I'd be curious to see what would happen if, let's say, they had a price at $25 a pop, right? And in just taking the exact same moments, you're getting a 5 moment pack for $25. I don't know if they'd have sold out or even close. Like where's the $9? Although what's crazy is, you know what though? Maybe they would have, because here's the thing: people are buying those packs right now in the aftermarket for
I
$25,
know.
and and you would be increasing the odds of those quick rip packs. So it's almost like the market dictated and said, hey, I am willing to pay $25 for these 5 moment packs with these odds. And what we're saying is, for $27, we could almost like double your odds. Like you're
That's what
getting,
I'm
like,
trying to
because
say.
you're taking all. No, I know. So I'm coming around to your side. I'm coming around. Just give me a second to get there. But
Okay.
I'm saying, yeah, you're getting you take all the rares, the ultimates, and all of the stars from the premium packs, and you split those out or whatever. I mean, yeah, people were already showing that they're willing to pay $25 for those. So
Right. And
so
again,
yeah,
I don't
so
know how
maybe
many
all day
moments
should
would
be
have
doing
been
that.
in there. Like, I don't know how, like, I remember we did the math, but I
Well,
don't
no, I
remember
did the
how many
math. It'd be
moments.
5 moments per.
Would it
I
be
did the
five?
math. It was
Okay.
5 moments per. Yeah, and
But
because
with
what you're
better
doing is you're
odds.
taking those packs of 10, splitting them. The odds would still be good because you were guaranteed a star and a rare. So
Right.
if
That
you
was the
split
difference.
those,
Right.
yeah, if you split those, each one of those packs would have either a rare or a star.
But do you even want the rare? I mean, like, honestly, it's like, I don't even know if the rare is like that good. I mean, I picked up a couple rares yesterday for $4. Rares are
I know
now,
those. Yeah, the rares are not rare.
no,
Yeah,
they're,
even that being said, if I took a pack of 10 and split it into two, your odds of pulling a star would be 1 and 2. In the quick rip packs, it was 1 and 4. So
got it. That's what you're
just throw
saying.
the rare out. My point is that
Yeah.
even if the rare is garbage, you still have better odds in those packs. You would have double the odds. So when you put that and you mixed it in, your odds would go from 1 and 4 to probably like 1 and like 3 point something or whatever. I can't do the
Yeah.
math on it
We
right
don't,
now,
yeah.
but
Anyway. Yeah.
yeah,
Just moving on from that. I just, that's what I think. So let's go on to the next topic. Do we have another topic?
we do. Team leaderboards. They are active. They just went active tonight, right before kickoff. Brand new feature. People are already hopping on. It's going to be a frenzy. It's really cool to see. You can lock your moments, and as you lock the moments, the average sale price goes to your leaderboard score, and you become the leader of that team. That's what you're vying for. Now, what's been announced so far is that if your team makes the playoffs and you're in the top 50 of that leaderboard,
Right.
you will receive a banner moment of that team. This, like when they release them later in the year. So that leaders will also get access to like merch, tickets, certain drops, things like that. They haven't said anything solid yet. I would assume, again, it's going to be based on the team. We were talking about this a little bit before we got started, which is some teams are going to be way harder to compete against than others. You happen to be a fan of one of them, unfortunately, because the Jags have the ultimate moment of Trevor Lawrence, who is one of the more expensive ultimate moments. The other team that's going to be difficult is going to be the Kansas City Chiefs. Boy, there are a lot of ultimate Kansas City Chiefs moments. Now, the other thing that there are too are those one-of-one moments, those Genesis moments that there's like 10 or so of. Yep, I saw one of them tonight. So, J.J. Watt on the Cardinals board.
Right, but
digitally rare. We used it.
So somebody bought because it's sold.
He did. Yeah, digitally rare. Remember last year it was like, oh man, digitally rare bought this, he bought that, he bought this, he bought that. He bought all those one-of-ones. Well, guess what? They're coming in handy now because he is at the top of a lot of these boards.
Boy, I'll tell you, I don't know if I call that handy. That's a lot of money to pay for a one-on-one. But again, to each their own.
It is, but he owns it. So, and it's at least it's giving him utility now. So it's like, hey, before he just owned it and just had it. Now it's going to at least provide him utility.
Yes,
like
that is
there's
correct.
Something that drops for that team board, he's going to get something from it. So
good point. Yeah, I mean, they might as well just give it to him because he's going to get all those teams.
Well, luckily enough, there's the one good fortune of the Bears stinking the past few years is that they haven't received any ultimate moments until just this year. So there's not the ability. There's no one with like a crazy Series 1 ultimate that went for like $30,000 that could just like crash the boards with that. So
that's good for you.
So
let me ask you this:
it's good for teams that are that don't have those situations. Yeah,
team leaderboards. The price, like you said, it's the average price. When you lock your moment, does it lock the average price, or does that price fluctuate? My understanding is it fluctuates.
It fluctuates.
Right?
Sure does.
So you could lock your moment thinking that, hey, this is like like the average price is great on this, and then it could go brr, but it could also go up.
Yeah. But it would go brr for everybody else that locked that moment too. So
sure.
It's not just you on the board, but let's say for instance, like this would be a really good. Like anything that there's very few of, like ultimates, right? Let's say there's been one sale of a 10 for 10 ultimate or something, or two sales. It's, like you could go from, if that one sold for 10 grand and then it sells for $1,000, you could see your average sale price drop to like, whatever, 5,500 overnight. So it's really, even like as I've watched the moments, like when I kind of heard the rumblings or whatever that there was like, people were saying like, oh, I bet there's going to be team leaderboards because we'd seen them in Top Shot. We knew they were coming. And people were going out and buying moments for their team thinking like, if they're in Top Shot, they're going to come over to All Day and such. And so you looked for moments that had like value to them or whatever and such. And, it's like the Series 1 moments are the ones that really hold the value. Correct. In the sense of like average sale price. Those were the ones that were really worthwhile to go get.
Yeah, like your launch codes and your like, some of your debuts that are in Series 1.
Some of those legendaries, holy cow. Like Series 1, like if you want to if you want to see like in all honesty, the commons have bigger like multipliers, like in the sense of it's like a 10x, a 15x. But the dollar difference in the legendaries is so stark to see, like, guys who were like averaging $3,000 that are now going for 500.
So, do you think the team leaderboards are going to make prices jump, or is it? I mean, like I see the rookie moments jumping because of the leaderboards. What do you think is really going to, or do you think it's going to just be more of like the old Series 1 stuff starting to jump back up? Is that kind of the play here?
I mean, I think some of the Series 1 stuff will jump up. I think that if if all day, again, if all day delivers and gives like some, like if the top whatever people for a team all get something really cool, I think people are going to be like, oh, wow, I want in on
Yeah.
that, and you might
Yep.
see people try to make plays there. Um, but really it's we'll see. I mean, I don't want to get too optimistic because again, it's if you see a lot. If there's one thing you see with Dapper that trends, it's like a lot of promises and not always delivery, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
But yeah,
I love like I'm saying this is like out of a place of love for the product, but it's like they need to do a better job of delivering on what they're saying they're going to deliver on because I mean I attended that town hall with Roam and it was like there's a lot, they're promising a lot of things. So,
what was the thing that they were promising? You mentioned that something about taking like you own the video.
oh yeah, no, so this wasn't even a promise. This was something that just kind of came up that no one really reacted to, but I think this is huge, which is that they've worked out a licensing agreement with NFL and NFLPA, where even if like Dapper goes under or stops like functioning or whatever, you would still own the rights to the IP to the moment. Meaning, you won't like a lot of people were afraid you would just like if Dapper went under, like everything's just gone and you have
Gone. Yeah.
nothing. Where they're working on putting like I guess things into place where you would still have that moment. I'm assuming you'd have to download it offline or there'd be some like kind of something to it or whatever. But you
Sure.
would still have a license to that video. Now you can't do anything with it. You can't go show it or whatever, but you can watch it on your devices. That's your video to watch on your devices that you own, and you would own it in perpetuity. So, I mean, to me, that's a big deal. Like, it means that these things will, again, who's to say that these things maybe don't go away at one point and then resurrect on a new network, maybe on Solana or who knows or whatever. And again, I'm not saying I don't want that to happen. I don't think that'll happen, but I'm just saying it's nice to know that if it did,
If it
that
did,
someone
yeah.
could resurrect the platform and work with the NFL and do that. So it's a nice thing. It's a
Yeah.
nice security blanket to have for the system.
How long is the lock? Is it another year lock? We're talking about these team
1 year.
leaderboards. Is it 1 year?
Yep. 1 year.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay. I mean, if you're locking a lot of these moments, these rookie moments, there's only 1,500. Locking them for a year is like a significant thing. Like, I mean, is it wise to
That's why they
lock
want you to
them?
lock them.
Well,
That's why
is
you
it
get
wise to
rewarded.
lock them?
I mean,
Can you?
if you get a
You
free
can't
rare
sell
and a
it then,
free
right?
legendary for it, yes.
No, yeah, I guess you're
Nope,
right.
can't sell it.
Can't sell it,
So
but you can. You could trade it in,
you could burn it or
right?
trade in / burn it. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's
See.
that's the mechanism, right? So once you get like, let's take Brian Thomas, right? Let's say
Yep.
he continues to play well and he makes the rare Regal rare set. The way you'll be able to get him is, I mean, I'm sure there'll be some impacts or something, but if you're in the top, let's say 50, they decide. If you're in the top 50 of Brian Thomas holders, great. Here's your free Brian Thomas rare. Here, this is a thank you for locking him. If you're
Okay.
not in the top 50, let's say you're 52 and you've locked 12 Brian Thomases, they're like, oh, hey, by the way, burn 10 Brian Thomas, commons, and you'll get a free rare. Okay. All right. I mean, I'm 52 on the leaderboard. This is going to set me way back on the leaderboard, but I really want that rare. So I'm going to burn 10 to get that rare. And so it's another
Right.
way for people who don't necessarily, make that cut with the lock to still, be able to burn their moments and get something or trade in their moments and get something out of it.
Got it. Okay. What are you thinking on some of these trade-ins that are currently happening? I see that there's like a get a debut premium pack by trading in a running back, trade in a wide receiver.
That ends
what else?
tomorrow. So yeah, you have to turn. It's a common tight end, common quarterback,
Yep.
and rare receiver and rare running back. So there's 20, the top 25 people in each one get it. And you can see the numbers are getting pretty high. I love this. Like, this is what we talk about. You and I talk about like burning moments, right? Look at the minimum. Like, this is you're getting 10 moments in that pack. And these people that are burning 50, 60, 70 moments to get, and we're not even to the end yet, right? So people are going to go crazy at the end. So we're getting so many more moments out of the ecosystem just
Right.
for a pack. I love,
Right.
love, love this idea.
Right. And it's like the packs are coming into the ecosystem whether we do this or not. So it's like,
Yeah, these moments were minted to these counts no matter what. So it's like,
so
this is what they talked about. They did say, hey, we're going to make ways for you to earn these packs without having to spend money. And they're living up to it. So you
right.
could, if you have a big collection, you don't want to spend a single dollar on all day. You don't have to. You just burn a bunch of these moments and you
Sure.
get yourself, free packs with guaranteed rookies because they're premium packs.
Yeah.
So I really like that they're doing this. I think this is what we need to see. Multiple routes to get to the
Yep.
same result. You want to
Yeah.
buy
You
a
were
pack,
talking about,
buy it.
oh, go ahead. I was
No, I
going to
was
say
just
the
saying, if you
one,
want to buy a pack, buy it. You want to burn it, burn it.
yep.
But yeah, go ahead.
I'm checking out this quarterback one that you're talking about that's got like 50 moments, and it is Mac Jones, Zach Wilson, and
Bailey
Bailey Zappi.
Zappi.
Yep.
Yeah,
Oh man.
great. Get those guys out of there. And then, the best thing would be if, like, what if Bailey Zappi actually turns out to be okay in the end, or something like that, where it's like,
Right.
I mean, now it's probably not going to happen, but that's the point. Get those guys out of the system.
Right. I mean, geez, the average sale price still on Zach Wilson is $36.
Yeah.
That's insane.
I'm sure if you and I went back, we could find ourselves paying for Zach Wilson that we wouldn't want to admit
No,
here
that
on.
wouldn't be us. That would never be us.
Yeah. No, not
yeah.
us.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's only, like I'm looking at Zach Wilson, only 7.6 of his. I mean, they've got, 50% of Zach Wilson was burnt. That wouldn't be that big of a deal,
Yeah.
with the way the system is right now. I mean, this is a 10,000 moment.
Well, the way Zach
thing.
Wilson is right now.
Right. I'm just saying, like, again, there's like 1,500 debuts of all of these rookies, and in a sense, there's so many of these Zach Wilsons. I mean, they could burn these until forever.
Well, they're going to be burning these 1,500. I mean, that's what's crazy about the rookie for me is that it's like if these prices start getting too low, that's what they're going to do. They're going to make that burn number higher. And
right, and we talked about, you said trade in versus burn though, but it is trade in, right? Or I'm sorry, it's not burning though. It's locking.
Yeah, it is. No, it will be, again, that's why the leaderboards are so important. So if you're in a certain position on the leaderboard with your moments locked, you will get that rare drop to you. If you're outside looking in and you've got a bunch of moments locked, you aren't getting one. You're going to have to burn those moments to get it.
Okay. Interesting.
So, yeah, I mean, it's, if I'm like, whatever the number is, right? Let's say it's 30, whoever's 31 is going to be pissed off because they're going to have to burn now. You know what I mean? Like, it's like they're going to be like, oh man, like they were one outside, right? Or if it's 50, it's going to be number 51. Or if it's 20, it's going to be number 21. Like, no one knows where the number is going to cut. Like, no one knows where it's going to be.
Right. And let me just, because again, like maybe I understand this, but I don't fully understand this. You're saying that 1 through let's just say, for instance, 30, like let's say 30 is the cutoff. Those top 30 people are going to get that moment, that rare or whatever, right? But then 30, you're saying 31, why are they going to have to burn now?
Because they aren't going to have to burn. They could try to get it through a pack. They can try to get through other means, but they're going to create mechanisms. Like, so they'll reward the top guys. So let's say it's 10. They're saying, hey, Brian Thomas Jr.,
sure,
top 10 guys get a free rare. Everybody else does not get a free rare. If you want a rare of Brian Thomas, you can buy packs till you get one, or you can burn 10 Brian Thomas debuts to get this rare Brian Thomas.
Got it. Okay.
Now, if I'm in the top 10, I probably could burn and get a second one. I don't know if that's how it works or not, but like,
sure.
You know what I'm saying? It's an open burning mechanism for anybody, meaning you could own 0 Brian Thomases, go buy 10, burn them, and get a rare, just like normal, like just how you normally.
And how are they deciding, like, if it's top 10, if it's top 20? How is that decided for each player? Or is it going to be like, so we don't know?
No one knows any of this stuff.
Okay, but it's not like, is it going to be like top 20 for everybody? Or is it going to be, are they going to pick based on individual players, or we just don't know that at all?
I don't know any of this stuff. And
Okay.
I think it's more of like, it was probably more of a top shot mechanism. I'm not familiar with the shot mechanism.
Okay.
Again, my understanding is, I think my best understanding of this, I may still be off in some regards. So if I am, please
Correct
correct me in
us.
the comments.
Yeah.
But yeah, like this is how I've understood it, is that it will be that there will be people who will be rewarded, but the main mechanism to get that rare, to get that legendary, is to burn the moments to achieve it.
Got
Only
it.
special people, again, it may be top 3, it may be top 5, it may be top 1.
Right.
I don't know what it's going to be, but it will be a select group that get the moment for free. The majority are going to have to burn for it, or I would assume buy it in packs. I don't know.
Got it.
Again, I don't know.
Sure. So
So
wrapping up here real quick, predictions for the next couple weeks, and what do you see, like, Nostradamus, this thing, where do you see like happening with some of these rookie moments? Like, I mean, if you had to kind of just put your nuts on the table and say, this is what I see happen over the next couple weeks, what do you see?
I mean, I see the quick rip packs coming out. There's going to be, I'm guessing what they'll do to drive the sales of those again is putting one ultimate per like session, right? Like there'll
Sure.
be just one ultimate with a bunch of quick rip packs that people will be chasing. My guess is that over the next couple of weeks, we'll probably see these rookie prices drop by about 20%.
Yeah.
So, that's kind of how I see it.
Yeah. Got it. All right.
What
Well,
about you?
I mean, I hate to, like, I think that like this playbook thing is gonna take off. I feel like there's got to be something that's coming here that is gonna kind of just, I don't know, just set this whole thing and kind of flip it on its head. I feel like we got something coming our way that's gonna be hopefully good.
Yeah.
And I feel like, again, the way that I mean, playbook last year in week 1 was much more organized than the one this year. It just seems like this one was kind of thrown together. So
I think it was thrown. Yeah, I think you're right. I think they just kind of threw it out there because they weren't quite ready for whatever they've got planned.
Yeah. So I feel like whatever they're doing, well, it better be good. So
yeah,
like, don't fumble that one. Got a thumbs up there. Got a little heart. So again, I feel like that is going to be like, to me, that's going to move the needle one way or another. People are either going to be like, I love what's going on here, or what the hell have they done wrong? And I feel like all this stuff that they've built up is going to like push really far into the good, or it's going to be like go bad. So I think
the one thing I'll say that I saw like in playbook that was different is that playbook, it used to be like, you would have to have the moments after the games happened. So it'd be like,
go chase
have a
this moment
person
down.
who go chase these moments down, and it would make the marketplace go crazy. And like, if you were sitting on the guy who everybody was after, great, you're making money, you're selling them, in the secondary or whatever and stuff. And that happened. Whereas it, like, if I look at how they did it last week, it was more like just predict with your guys that you have right now. So it's like they took the chase out of it. Like, you don't have to chase guys down anymore, which I think is probably good in the sense of it, like, like it's like that way you can have the players you believe in and use them or whatever. And it's like people don't like kind of like scalp the market like they were. But I think that a lot of people enjoyed that aspect of like the buying and the selling and the chasing and it was like a stock market type of thing. And so I wonder if people won't miss that aspect.
Right. Yeah. I mean, who's to say they won't do both?
Again, all I can go off of is what I saw in week 1 versus and how that was different from prior weeks or prior seasons.
Yep. Well, so let's hope it's good. Don't fuck it up.
Right. I wish I could I don't know if I can get mine. Yeah. Oh, there we go. I got it to work. All right. Awesome.
That looks great.
I think this is the laser show, but I can never get the laser show to work.
I just get the laser show with the double thumbs up?
No, that was the fireworks. The laser show is the rock. You gotta give it the rock. I don't know. Maybe it was.
Yeah. Let's get out of here.
All right. Sorry. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.
All right. Later.